Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's ad-free live stream. My name's Tyler. Welcome to today's live stream. I'm super pumped that you're here. Today, we're going to be going through price action where I'm going to be sharing my trading bias. I'm going to be showing you daily trades. We're going to be going through all the things that you normally would want to see in a live stream, and we're going to do that here in real time. So if you're watching this after the fact, you can jump to the key moments using the markers at the bottom of the screen where I will share the trades that I've taken and the insight on why I took that trade, whether it's a win or a loss. We've had a lot of up and down price action. Now, if you're looking to take your trading to the next level, I have a special discount code for you, 80% off using the code DTJ to get an evaluation account with Apex. They're currently 80% off. I think renewals are $35, and then also you have activation for your funded accounts of $85 with a one-day passing. So it's going to be pretty good. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let's open in prayer. I like the price action I'm seeing so far here this morning, and we're going to talk about everything here. So, Father, we just honor you this morning. Lord, we thank you that no matter what the outcome, Father, you're in control. Father, I thank you that you are a good Father, and you reward those who diligently seek you. Father, as we are sit before the market, we thank you've given us the ability to produce wealth. Father, we sit patiently and wait for what you have for us today. We're not greedy. We don't chase. We don't reject revenge trading, over trading. And Father, we wait for what you have for us today. Father, we honor you in everything that we do. Bless everyone on this live stream this morning. Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, folks, let's get rocking and rolling. How are we doing today? We doing good? Let me get a few beats on here for me. I need some beats. Okay. All right. There we go. Let's get out. I'm on a paper trading account right now. Okay. So here's my assessmento. Is that even a Spanish word? That doesn't mean anything. Here we go again. Jay, good morning. Ted, good morning. TOC, how we doing? Good to see you guys. Cubic, good morning. Good morning. Okay, so a couple things. I'm gonna lay the foundation here this morning. Yeah, I noticed, Ted, that you weren't here. Figured something was going on. Hopefully you're doing all right. Everything's going well for you. If you were taking a break because of the crappy price action, you didn't miss out on anything. That's all I have to say. Okay, so in Colorado, well, I hope you had a blast, man. I hope you had fun. That sounds fantastic. All right, here's the thing. Let me jump out to a higher time frame here. I'm keeping an eye on this for a reversal pattern, seeing if we want to move back higher into the new day opening gaps, midnight open, and potentially tagging the previous day high. There's an 80% chance that this is tagged in the AM session. So there's times that it's not tagged at all, but there's an 80% chance it's tagged. So I'm looking at this as a potential. We got some smooth highs up here. That's what I do like. Now, if we jump out to the daily time frame, here's a couple things we need to understand, okay? And I had an aha moment this week in my studying, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Remind me, for those of you here, about what my aha moment was. Okay, but we had a large range yesterday. That means, for the most part, we potentially could see some unfavorable price action in the AM session. And we need to be aware of that and adjust our size accordingly. We should also be adjusting our size accordingly simply because we have elections and there's a lot of uncertainty that is going on. Also, if we jump over to the FX calendar, we look at the economic calendar. As far as what we can expect today, we had 8:30 news, which was advanced GDP, And at 10 o'clock, we have medium impact news with pending home sales. And 10:30, we have crude oil. So we have some news which is good for potentially seeing low resistance liquidity runs with those. But we also just need to keep that in mind that if price is waiting for these things to take place, we may see some unfavorable price action as a result of it. So we just want to keep that in mind as we get into the trades and taking smaller sizes. So here's the thing this morning. We got 10 minutes till open. I'm testing out a new model that I'll be doing at 9:30. I won't be doing that on screen because I need to flesh it out just a little bit more before I introduce it to the community. But when I do, I'll be excited to share that with you guys. But outside of that one trade, I'm probably looking for a one and done trade. I'm going to be very, very picky on my trade setups when it comes to my account. I'm considering taking one, depending on what price action looks like on my funded accounts. Unfortunately, I've taken 2 losses on those accounts, which has been I've had to wrestle with my own thoughts the past 2 days on adjusting my mindset, renouncing anything that rises above the word of God and what I know the Lord's given me to do. So with that being said, we just want to mitigate our risk appropriately. In regards to myself, I'm going to mitigate my risk appropriately, regardless of whoever's on here. That's just what I have to do as a trader, and being able to do that is important. Okay, so dropping down to the 5-minute here. Here we got a bunch of clusters of new week opening gaps that are sitting way down here. We have our previous day low sitting over here, and prices way up here. I'm not sure if we're gonna reach down there or not. I know we will not hit this previous day low. That's just outside of the cards. I don't think that's gonna happen. At a maximum, we reach down into these levels here, but there's no way we're hitting that. We've already hit this high. There's an 80%, 77% of the time we have a single break day, a single PD break day, a single previous day break. Okay, this has already broken. This previous day high has already been tagged. The likelihood of this being tagged, very, very unlikely, considering that yesterday itself was a double break day. So we have our previous day low, previous day high. We ran the low and ran the high and closed way up here. So there's no way we're running this low. No way. So I'm looking at, can we get back up to this level in New York session? That's really what I'm looking for. Okay. Let me get a couple things set up here. We're going to have a nice opening range gap, which will be nice. That will be our initial draw higher. That's kind of what I'm looking for. We've ran into this 15-minute BISI, which is sitting right there. Five minutes till open. That doesn't seem right. Why is this here? Okay, that's correct. Now I got a couple questions for you guys here this morning. here we go, that we'll get into here in a little bit. Okay, so the opening range gap is going to be way up here. So 749 is our high. We are little under 100 points when we open. Okay. I started doing some pull-ups, folks, and nothing wrong with that, but usually like right in the middle of your back, when you're doing those pull-ups, my back is extremely tight. It is very tight. All right, we tagged that 15-minute BISI again and having some displacement higher with 3 minutes left. First potential point of interest outside of the off-screen trade I'm going to take is going to be right here. Targeting this high right here. An inversion. It would also be nice to see a close in here, a breakdown to this low. This is a mitigation, and then moving higher. That's what I'd like to see. Now we could sell off a little bit more. That's fine. I mean, I have on my screen, if you look on the 5-minute chart, we have midpoint of this entire range right here. So it wouldn't be surprising to reach down to this level as well. We just want to see what's going to happen with the market initially. This looks really nice, except we didn't run these highs. So didn't run the highs. This makes this a lower probability, not my A+ inversion that I normally like. But if order flow is lower, which we're too close to open, and then we have some news coming up, we could get some gyrations. But going to be very, very selective on my trades. All right, 1 minute till open. I'm going to do this. Good morning. Good morning, Hang Flying. I think you said Dennis, right? Do I remember that correctly? All right, let's see if this model looks to be opening right around here. Nice little breaker right here. Waiting for our first fair value gap to see what we get here. Still inside this breaker. Want to see if this holds right here to move higher. Set up here. Okay. Sorry folks, I'm just trying to get my account set up right now. How we all doing this morning? Let's see, what do we got? Let's get 3 more likes and then we'll look at taking that first trade on screen. But as I mentioned before, I'm going to be very, very picky about what I'm looking for. Right now, I'm looking for higher prices, so I'm waiting for price to show me that it wants to start moving in the other direction. I don't care how low it goes. I will not be taking a trade lower right now. Midnight, 50% equilibrium of previous day range is right here. Right there. So let's see what it wants to do after we tag that. We have PM lows are sitting right here. We've already ran the PM lows. We have lunch lows that are next. Here's our lunch low sitting right here. Let's tag that. Lunch low, let's mark that up. How have you guys been? What's been happening with you guys? Okay, so here's the question while we're sitting here waiting. Good morning, Sandra. Here's the question I got. Okay, so I'm creating some forums on the Discord that we're going to be using, and obviously I'm trying to create a community that we're engaging with one another. So I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on what you think would be engaging, what would be useful for those of you that may want to join the Discord. So one of the channels I want to create is a back testing forum. So a forum is basically is a collection of different channels that are in regards to back testing. So anybody there could go into it and basically create their own channel within the backtesting forum and say, all right, I want to start a discussion on backtesting X. You name it, whatever you would be interested in, you would be able to create that channel and start backtesting. What does backtesting look like? It's basically going, let's say yesterday's price action, and you wanted to see if price action was how it ran the previous day high. Did we open inside the range? Okay, yes, we opened inside the range. Did we run for the high in the AM or PM session? Okay, look, we ran it in the AM session. So we mark those, we take a screenshot of that day, and we drop it in that discussion, and we put our notes and our thoughts, and we basically talk and we Discord back and forth between everybody on the back testing channel for the topic of previous day highs and previous day lows. Now you could back test a specific strategy. You could back test, the Gallo or whatever PDRA ICT has. If you want to back test it, and you can create your own channel, and then we as a community can have discussions revolving and around that specific topic. So I say all that to say, number one, is that something you would find engaging in a Discord? Number one. And number two, if you were to create your own channel or category within that, what would those items be? What would you say you would want to start backtesting? Is my camera acting up? I feel like my camera's acting up. I'm gonna let it reset here, folks. Tagging the C of the 4-hour fair value gap. I like that. Where's 930, by the way? I mean, you could literally do it about anything. And the thing about it is it allows people to jump into the conversation and start back testing that very thing and seeing the progress and the journey so far in back testing. You know, like for example, I've been wanting to back test CPI days, specifically CPI days, and get all the charts from past CPI news release days and see how the charts moved on those days. See if there's anything we can take. Where do we open inside the range, outside the range? Where's midnight open? Where's 9:30 open? Where's our first fair value gap? All those things. And then we put that inside that particular channel to start tracking what's going on, so that anybody that wants to join or engage in the conversation can see the progress that has been made and be able to create their own conclusions, create their own insights, and share them with the community. Because the Discord is the DTJ community Discord is twofold. One, we want to grow as traders. We want to make it professional. We want to grow in that way. But second, it's an area for like-minded traders to engage with and build relationship with other traders and grow in our own personal relationship with Christ. So all those things are going to be taking place. Okay, we have a nice sell-off here. We have our previous week gap opening. The new week opening gap is right here. Let's watch how it wants to react with those lows, with that previous week, the new week opening gap high. Here's the new week opening gap low is right here. So we got that. We could get a market maker sell model. That's a possibility. I've just done my back testing in regards to back testing on previous day lows and previous day highs. In over 200 days of trading, there was only one time out of 200, so a 0.5% of the time, we had a double break day followed by another double break day. Only one time in 200 trading days. So yesterday was a double break, meaning we ran the previous day low and the previous day high. So there is a very, very, very low probability that we run this previous day high here and this previous day low here. Is it impossible? No, but unlikely. So I don't expect it to reach down here. If it does, then it's one of those days that I'm going to miss out on everything because it's so low in probability that I don't want to take a trade that it's going to do that. I want to look at a move this direction. That's really what I want. And I'm not going to change my bias. So if it doesn't show me an opportunity to go long, I'm not going to take it. But I will say I kind of want this to hit the new week opening gap right now. If we hit this new week opening gap and then get displacement, that would give me more confidence to look for a setup. We did just hit this high here. So from a 15-minute time frame perspective, we got a low, high, lower, low. And here is our up close candle high sitting here. Now, I don't want to trade a direct V. I won't trade a V. It has a higher probability of failing, creating a higher low or a lower low, and then moving higher. So I want to wait for something like this. This can be below it or it could be above it. I don't care. But I want to see something here to then take a trade. Alkai, good morning. So technically, this could be called the breaker. We'll see how that reacts. Let me jump out to the hourly here. Hourly looks nice too. Actually, the hourly looks, as far as where price is, look at that accuracy of the close price of the hourly. We also have this large hourly fair value gap sitting right here. And we're playing in the premium portion of that. Also inside this hourly, excuse me, the 4-hour fair value gap sitting right here. Now I'm going to be trading more than likely. Don't forget your first fair value gap. Yes. I'm going to be trading on a eval account. I'm looking to see if there's any opportunity for my performance accounts. But if I don't see anything super obvious, I'm gonna just close those and focus on an eval account. So if you want to join in, come along. I dropped a code at the top. It's DTJ. You can get 80% off a eval account on Apex. Let's see, where is that first fair value gap? Right here, 939. It's honestly the best fair value gap here so far. You see how this didn't even come down into this fair value gap? Now, I do want to say this about the previous day low and previous day high. So, obviously, we have this previous day low down here that I said only one time in 200 days of trading. This does not mean that we could not just do this all day and then close here. That's a possibility. That is a real possibility. I just know that very likely it's not going to run the low. So I'm looking for a bullish move that I can get for a move higher. That's really what I'm looking for. Here's a institutional order flow entry drill, a tag of this fair value gap sitting right here. Again, we have news at 10, 7 minutes. Pending home sales, and then crude inventory at 10:30. I haven't figured out my first fair value gap yet. I mark it. I know there's significance to it, but I haven't really. We just inverted the fair value gap I talked about above. The 2 minute. You say 2 minute? I don't like the 242 to 244. I like this one right here. We haven't inversed this one yet. That's nice. We don't want to do the first one. This one, when there's two in a row, we want the higher one. There's a 3 minute right here as well. There's also a 4 minute, and the 5 minute just inversed right now. The 5 minute just closed. That's a great sign for a reversal. I want to wait for a 1 minute. I'm going to wait for the 1 minute to close. I would really like to see a retracement first, especially on the 5 minute. I don't. Look at the 5 minute here. And look how it doesn't have a single wick. There's not a wick. I'm not a fan of that. So I'm expecting, I would want this to come back down, and I'm probably not going to take this. No, it didn't even close. It closed right on it. I'm not taking that. I don't like when we don't have a wick. So when we have 3 minutes and 48 seconds left, I'm expecting this to come back down, provide us a wick, and that give us that. I'm just looking at order flow of a candle. Like every candle has a wick on the bottom side. Very rarely will you get no wick. It's possible. Here's one right here. But more often than not, you get a wick. So I'll miss this move for the sake that I don't see that right now. I said I'm being very picky. So this trade is not a trade yet for an inversion unless it closes above this fair value gap, and it hasn't yet. We got 3 seconds. There's the close. So there is the entry. But as you can, like I said I'm not interested in that yet. To be honest, I would want to see it work before I take something right now. I like that reaction in that fair value gap. This now has a higher probability of working out. Running this high after this candle here. Higher probability, but as you can, we'll see. Inverse fair value gap, yes. But as you, like I said, this 5 minute has me sitting here. We got 1:16 seconds left. So it looks as if we may get a candle here with no wick. News at 10 a.m. Yep, we got 1 minute. I would be okay with a long if it closed above this order block right here. Without running the high. It's a little close. There's news. I haven't taken it. It was too close to the high. Okay, so that 5 minute did give us a bullish candle without a wick. Is what it is. Move stop to 610. Way to go. I just don't have an entry down here. There's not an entry for me that I felt comfortable with. Way to go, Ted. Hopefully you're green on the day. Way to go, Hang Flying. Yeah, there's so many different ways to trade, guys. So for those of you on the stream seeing people made money and I haven't taken a trade yet, that's okay because there's more than one way to trade. There's so many different ways to trade. The most important thing is that you as an individual follow your own rules. And so right now I'm following my rules. I could have taken this trade right here. I just said I didn't like it because the 5 minute didn't create a Judas swing on this 5 minute candle. It didn't create this Judas swing, and I just didn't like it. I felt that it could give us a failure of a move to the swing high. I was wrong, but at least I'm not negative. At least I didn't take a loss. I'm okay with being at zero. There'll be something else. We got a 4 minute and a 5 minute sitting right here, right around the 15 minute fair value gap right here, and a 4 minute right here. 2 minute left, 2 minutes left on both of them. Oh no, these are both 5 minutes. Nothing on the 4 minute. Yes, that is pretty important. We got to get through this, and if we can get through this, we have all this low resistance liquidity with this opening range gap up here. So really, it's my 930 price that I'm looking at as my opportunity. If I can get in below, that would be nice. To be honest, I would like it not to close above right now and retrace. I would rather see this, preferably. But my draw on liquidity is previous day high. So I'm just looking for my opportunity to get in. And I want to get in on a retracement. I don't want to get in on pushes higher. Looks like we're going to close. Run this low resistance liquidity right here. So there's the 5 minute close. I wish we had a wick on that 5 minute and I would have taken this. That sucks. That 5 minute wick kind of threw me off a little bit. I mean, look at every single other candle here. Every other candle, except this one, has a wick. There's one. This one doesn't have a wick. Okay, this one doesn't have a wick. But, I mean, predominantly, most of these candles, by and large, have a wick underneath it. So when I see this, I'm waiting for the Judas swing lower and then the expansion, and that would have gave me my permission to take the trade.
Order submitted.
We're going to see how this reacts to this. See if we stay above this and expand higher from here. See if we can get that expansion right there for this low resistance liquidity sitting right here.
Order submitted.
Okay, so there's that run right there of that low resistance liquidity. Found support at that order block. Nice. Yeah, this is a good spot to put your stop loss right below this order block. Now that we hit this high, though, I think we could get a retracement here. It's where I'd want to see a retracement, to be honest. Another order block right here. Potentially a proportion block. Let's see how it goes. If we can get in this candle a close above this, that would be nice. Confirming a proportion block. Hey, good morning. Helping Hands. Oh, you know what? I think Hang Flying. I think I asked if your name was Dennis. I think this gentleman's name was Dennis. Helping Hands. I think that's... Do I got that right? I know I threw the name Dennis out there. Okay, that's right. Okay, so I got the two mixed up. Well, Mike, sorry about that. And glad to see you here, Dennis. Carmen, good morning. So far, as far as my analysis goes, it seems as if the lower price conversation was correct. We're not going to see lower prices. I did throw out there that it'd been nice to see us hit the new week opening gap, but hitting this breaker and this hourly was enough. Now, admittedly, I wanted to see this come lower, and it didn't even get into this fair value gap here, which I didn't like that either. So, I mean, there might have been an opportunity in a lower time frame. I just didn't see anything here that gave me permission to go long down here. And I hate missing all of this. I really, really do. I hate missing all of that. My opportunity was going to be this first fair value gap, which had this swing high sitting right here. Now, the reason I didn't take that is the 5 minute didn't give me a wick. I know. Right there. I really wanted a manipulation move on the 5 minute, and we never got that. And there's that candle right there. So we got this move at 9:55. At 9:55 right here, it was a straight bullish candle. We didn't have a wick on that. Now, I don't care about that as much on the lower time frames. But when we move this high and don't close, and then close on this candle, I'm like, man, that just doesn't sound good. This candle wicks really far low. It doesn't violate the inversion fair value gap, but it ends up working out. The trade did play out. You would have had to handle 13 handles of drawdown, and your target would have been for 10 handles. So in my mind, not the ideal type of move that I would have wanted to take, but it still played out, and it would have given me an opportunity to capitalize on the rest of this long up to the 930 price. It just didn't give me what I wanted in my tool belt of models. We didn't have the only thing is this breaker down here, but admittedly on my end as well, I'm very unlikely to take this long. It's just I don't do that. Now, this would have worked out. It would have only been 11 handles of drawdown for about 3 minutes, and then it moved higher, targeting the first swing high. That's 83 handles. I would love to be able to get to the point to be able to do moves like that. That's just not in my tool belt right now. No, I'm not from Ohio. I have family in Ohio, and one of the ministries that I am involved with is in Ohio. I'm in Nebraska. So the ministry that I absolutely love and has had a huge part of my trading journey is called Faith Life Now, and the lead pastor's name is Gary Kesey. Interesting team, man. Yeah, the problem is, it's like I don't know how to use. I just put them on my charts now so I can keep track of them. But I need to do some Saddleback Dana Point. I don't know that. Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't figured out how to use them yet. All right, let's see what happens here with this candle if we're going to close higher. Tight consolidation. I think I'm gonna take a long right here. This is a eval account. This is based on this being a breaker. I don't like the rejection of the midpoint of this multiple times. I need to see this expand right here. And if I don't, I'll kill the trade, most likely. It needs to expand. If we close red here or black, I will kill the trade. Okay, nice expansion. Full body, higher close. Let's see how we react here. I'm going to treat this as like an order block. So it closed below this. I'm probably going to close the trade as well. I'm looking as a continuation type trade from this breaker. Looking at this swing high right here. GC, thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's been a long road. All right, so there's the close above. I'm going to add one position.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
All right, so took one position. Stop's going to be moved to break even.
Order submitted.
All right, so stops to break even. Hit the initial target. Sold the other position for about 10, 15 handles. Is 15 handles. And we are getting a large rejection candle here, so expecting some type of retracement. Let's see if we start disrespecting discount arrays. I'll be right back, folks. Gonna use the restroom. I'm going to play this inversion long right here with 2 contracts. See if we can get a little bit of push higher. We swept this low, found support at these highs again. This is not an A+ setup, but it's a higher probability. Main reason is drawn liquidity I know is higher. Once we hit this high, I'm going to sell 1 contract.
Order submitted.
Now, I'm going to talk about the lesson I learned about high resistance order flow. Here in a second, let's see if we hold this level or if we tap out. Okay, so there we go. All right, so I want to talk about real quick the lesson that I learned about low resistance and high resistance liquidity. I've had multiple losses the past 2 days, and I've done some digging and research and just reviewing my trades and the environment that I was taking trades in. And my conclusion that I've come up with, and it was confirmed when I was reviewing and listening to old ICT content and just trying to reestablish my my psyche on my positions that I've taken, because the trades that I took weren't horrible trades. They were real trades. They were part of my model, but it seemed they were failing over and over again the past 2 days. And I had an aha moment when analyzing my trades that I was trying to take low resistance liquidity setups in a high resistance environment. I'll say that again. I was taking low resistance setups, low resistance concepts. I was looking for low resistance signatures in price action in a high resistant environment. And my mistake was trying to merge the two together. I should have not have taken my inversion model, which is highly reliant on low resistance liquidity. I should have not have taken those trades in a high resistance environment. And when I go back and I look at what model would have worked better, the breaker model would have worked fantastic in the high resistance environment. I tend to merge my models together. I will merge the breaker and inversion, meaning I look for the breaker and then I look for the inversion for the confirmation. And many times in that confirmation, we'll get the next candle that will run against it because they're overlapping. They're overlapping quite frequently. The candles are just a lot of wicks and they go up and down. They gyrate a lot more. And my takeaway was I need to be able to trade them not only together, which I have been, but I also need to use the models separately in the appropriate environment. Right now, this is not high resistance liquidity. This is just consolidation. This is passing time, right? This isn't high resistance liquidity. What we saw here was low resistance liquidity, and the inversion model works great in this environment. I just didn't get a setup that I liked in here. I didn't take the breaker. It's 2 from the 15 minute. I normally don't take those. I probably should back test. That could be another channel in the back testing forum on higher time frame breakers, which I haven't put a ton of time into. I know that it can change direction, but I just don't take longs off of it. But when we're in a low resistant environment, I can use my inversion model with high precision and high accuracy and with a very high win rate. But the past 2 days have not been low resistance. They've been high resistance. And I was taking my low resistance model and trying to apply it in a high resistant environment. And I didn't recognize myself doing that. And that was a big lesson for my takeaways the past 2 days, is using them in the appropriate environments or waiting till you can recognize low resistant situations and then take your trade in that environment. Now, ICT talks about staying out of these high resistance areas altogether, which quite frankly is probably the way to go, and really just focus on the low resistance liquidity. Now, if you miss this move on this low resistance run right here, the question you have to answer yourself, do I just log off or do I wait for the next opportunity? Well, for me, I'm waiting for the next opportunity for one reason. My main objective has not been tagged yet. Now, it doesn't have to be tagged, but I want to take a trade moving in that direction. To be quite honest, I've been waiting for a retracement like this, and then that. And I have not gotten that environment yet. Now, I've taken the inversion here and another small inversion to this high, and they've both worked out. Why? Because we're not in a high resistance environment. But if I'm honest, I've been wanting this. That's why I take profit. I'm holding another one and my next one gets stopped out, because it's not just wanting to run up there right now. So I'm sitting back watching price, wanting to get some type of a retracement to a key level that I can see a reversal on and then take a long towards my target, because this is really what I want to see ran, is the midpoint of the opening range gap, the low of the new day opening gap. We have the midnight open, and ideally the previous day high. Now, we may not hit that previous day high. There's a high probability, a higher probability that we run it, but it's not a guarantee. It could be one of those days where we just don't get it. But what I've been learning is it doesn't mean I can't take a long towards this level. I can still take a long towards this level and take 10, 20 handles out and just call it a win. I could call that my win. I just need to wait for the setup to present itself. Now, when you miss trades like this, like I did, I'm just giving you the behind. I'm pulling back the curtain on what's going on inside of me. I hate missing these. You know, Hang Flying was able to get, Mike was able to get a huge move out of this, and that's fantastic. I didn't see my model in here, and I hate that I had to miss it. And it makes the rest of this time very difficult to be patient and waiting for that ideal setup and not just taking something subpar. This is the issue that we as traders have to master. We have to be able to overcome this issue of feeling this revenge trading mentality of I missed a trade, or I feel FOMO and because I really want to take something, I'm going to take something with a lower standard, a lower grade entry. I'm not going to take the A+ setup that I want. Now, these two trades right here, I don't think were A+. They're probably A-, B+ type setups. But because in the low environment, they worked out. But it's still not my ideal setup of what I want to see. And just having to deal with the feelings of the big move, that nice move that we got right here, is very difficult. It's not easy, but it's not impossible either. And so my encouragement to you guys is find a way to determine yourself not to break your rules when you see a missed opportunity like this. It's very, very difficult, but very, very necessary as the development of your trading journey. Now, I'm seeing displacement here. I would like to see more displacement lower. I would like to see all of this low resistance liquidity be ran. Why is this low resistance? There's not a fair value gap in sight. There's one here, but we've already used it. So how low could we go? I don't know. Maybe it's 930 price. Maybe we find support at the 930 price and we don't go below it. But today in itself is a lower probability day because yesterday was a large range day. And the AM session of the following a large range day tends to be not the best price action. So all of these things we have to keep in mind and continue to allow ourselves to be patient in that. And this is just me, a part of my own trading journey that you guys are seeing. There was an opportunity for me to get in here other than here, and that just wasn't quite my model. It sucks that I missed it. Yes, we got a little opportunity here, but the big move itself was missed. Now the only way I want to participate is in something like that. How low? I don't know. We do have a 5-minute that's sitting right here. And a 15-minute that's overlapping it. So I think what I want would be a dip into this 5-minute. Hey Bob, how you doing, man? I'm doing well. Overall, this week has been a little tough in trading. Honestly, a little disappointing. I counted up to the elections being on Tuesday next week for the high resistance environments, but overall doing well. Looking at launching a day trading course and community, hopefully next month, very soon. Really excited about that. It will give us the opportunity to collaborate outside of me just being here for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Carmen, that's amazing. Way to be patient. So we just ran these equal lows right here. Equal lows right there, we just ran. If we get an expansion candle here, that's not a bad trade for this little move right here. Needs to close above it right here. No close. We are also really close to the next macro time, so that makes this interesting. We're going to take that long. Let's see if it gives it to us. Close will be if it closes below this right here. Why did I take this? We swept this liquidity down here and we displaced, or no, I wouldn't say displaced, but we had quite a reaction right here. So we have 13 seconds. If we close below this, we close the trade. So that did not close below. It closed on it. No close below. Let's see if we can get an expansion higher. As soon as we run this swing high, this internal swing high, I would move my stop to break even.
Order submitted.
Now that we've come up here, I would not want it to come back down here. So I will have my stop loss there. I'm I'm getting ready to move my stop up once we expand higher. And if it goes below that green candle, that means it stops me out, and I'm okay with that. I'm undersized. I have, oh, there's the stop. So it stopped me out. Today was better price action so far. Yes. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It keeps logging me out. But because here, like I said, this candle went higher and it did not expand higher. So if it came back down here, I was gonna take the loss. I didn't want to hold it. I wanted the move. I wanted the momentum, and it's not giving me that. So I'm gonna cut the trade. Diane, you are correct. So one thing ICT talks about is that when you have high resistance days, in a high resistant environment, that pre-market tends to be better opportunities. And yes, they're not as, it's more calm. You don't get the flash moves higher that can be very it can toy with your emotions. T-Man, I'm going back up. It is the hardest thing to do. It is the hardest thing to do. Especially when there's a loss. Really nice low resistance liquidity right here. We have a breaker. If we can get up into one of these fair value gaps here, I don't have a problem playing a trade lower from a fair value gap as long as we don't run these already. I like these to the 5-minute fair value gap. Oh, it didn't give it to us. wick went up to the midpoint of this wick. A lot of low resistance here. I want to see a deeper retracement. $67.77. So 10 handle stop loss.
Order submitted.
I want to see price run into this 5 minute.
Order submitted.
So that's where I'm going to set my target. The 15 minute is actually right here. This is the 15 minute fair value gap. So want to see how it reacts when it hits this level here. So we got the 15 minute and the 5 minute. $15 minute, I want to see no reaction yet. I want to see it reach to the 5 minute. There it is, 5 minute tagged. So we took the breaker that we had right there. It did not reach up into our fair value gap that I really wanted it to reach up into. Right there, that was the fair value gap that I was watching. What made me decide to get into it was two reasons. We have our high, low, higher high, and we break lower. This is the low of our breaker. This candle closed on it. This candle closed below it. This candle wicked up into it and into the 50% of this wick. And when we closed here, and then we ran lower to 930 and closed here. No, did we take that one? No, it wasn't. It was right here. I'm thinking to myself, this candle right here overlaps all of this price action right here. And technically, it does not need to come back up into these levels to rebalance it. If it really wants to run, it could run right here. And that was my reasoning of saying, okay, I'm willing to get in short right here, set my handle for a 10 handle stop loss, which is above this fair value gap in case it wants to reach up into it, and also this second fair value gap, which is unlikely for it to reach up into it, but it could offer that price. So I was willing to take that risk within, I was willing to take the trade within my risk parameters to my target, which was down here for 21 handles. And yes, it's still expanding lower, but I just wanted to get the low-hanging fruit that I knew was a high probability, which was the 5 minute. Why did I think we could retrace down to the 5 minute? Because look at this entire run with not a single retracement. I said from the beginning, I want the retracement. I want the retracement. I want the retracement. Now that we got the retracement, now I can sit here and I can look for an opportunity to go long in. We've gotten the retracement enough to where I'm comfortable looking for a potential long that could move us higher. Where is that long going to be? It's going to be right here. Now, I hope it doesn't do it right now. Personally. It honestly makes more sense to go lower, but the 5 minutes going to close here in 40 seconds. Thanks, Carmen. Oh man, the Gallo. I don't know, man. I need to research that stuff. I need to study it. I haven't. I never watched the full video of that concept yet. Or that PD array. Do you remember what video it was that he talks about that? What day? Because I think he puts on his live streams the date that he had the live stream. I'll check it out. I really don't want this to work. I don't want this to play out. "15 minutes been tagged. The hourly, 4 hour, 30-minute doesn't have anything that we can go off of. Honestly, this probably is the move. Let's see if it gives it to us. Okay. Based on principle, I'm going to take this long. Stop is below this fair value gap. I'm watching that level right here. I think it could come and tag that wick, but I want to see the explosive move higher right now. I want to see all of this low resistance liquidity ran. Now, admittedly, I'm saying admittedly a lot. I've recognized that. I really didn't want this to actually close above, but I'm taking this strictly off the model. Okay, so no close below. This is a strictly, I'm playing the model. I really didn't like the idea of this closing above, honestly. But I'm trading this based on the model and the displacement we're seeing right here. So let's see if it wants to work out. Close of the trade is a close below this box. And if it's on it by a tick or two, I'll probably hold the trade. To allow for some sloppy delivery. But I'm looking, we'll see what happens here. following the rules on this trade. It's also going to be, it's almost 11 o'clock. This is an 11 o'clock candle here, or 10:59. There's no way. Is it going to wick back up into there? See, something like that, I'm going to hold. I'm not. I'm going to close that. That closed below. That violates the rules. That's our exit. That's our stop loss right here. So we take that loss in the chin. I didn't like. I mean, I mentioned what I was thinking. You guys heard me talk about it. But this was a trade specifically off of the model being present. This is why you just can't take every single model that presents itself, because sometimes it just doesn't make sense. I really wanted to see it reach a little bit lower. I did say 5 minute earlier, but when we got down here in, half a second, in 3 minutes, it doesn't feel right. Here's 9:30 price. And honestly, what we could do, we may leave the rest of this for, Friday for NFP, which is on Friday, right? Is NFP on Friday? Or do they wait another week for that? I'm pretty sure it's on Friday. Yeah, non-farm payroll change is at 8:30 on November 1st. So thinking from a weekly profile perspective, we could leave these highs for later and then potentially run this on Friday if they want to push it higher. I'm not ruling out higher prices at all. At a minimum, though, I really want to see this level tagged, the new day opening gap. Look at this. This is interesting. The 2 minute never closed. We took the 1 minute close, but the 2 minute didn't close. Nor did the 3 minute close. So we took this trade off of the 1 minute. But the 2 minute didn't close. This is one of those situations that I wish I would have tagged between the 1 minute and the 2 minute and said to myself, I want to see both the 1 and the 2 minute close. I want the overlapping confluences of the different time frames to confirm to me that it wants to move higher. So when we get the 1 minute to close, but not anything higher than that, it makes sense why this trade potentially failed. Now, I've had trades where the 1 minute closes and then it explodes. You waited for the 2 minute to close and then you missed the trade. That happens. Hey, Jay, thanks for being here, man. God bless you. So that's where it's like being able to thumb through the different time frames and see what's available. That would have been one I wish I would have thumbed through the 1 minute chart and the 2 minute chart and seen both those levels and said to myself, okay, we got two of them in the relatively same spot. Let's wait for the 2 minute to close. And it didn't. Thank you, Ali. I appreciate it. I'll be honest, transparency is always hard. Transparency is hard because it invites the opportunity for criticism. It invites the opportunity for people to laugh at you, to mock you, to discredit you, to basically say, oh, you can't do that, you're not a good trader, you're not good enough, right? It presents all of that opportunity. The reality is that most traders have these losses, they just don't present them. So we have a 1 minute fair value gap for lower prices here that hasn't been closed below. And then the 2 minute is sitting right here. That's too small for me to consider the 2 minute. Order block here. Let's see if it wants to run this low. See that reaction right there? That's common if we're in a bullish environment. Eight seconds left. It doesn't look like it's going to come back all the way down. 10 handles in 4 seconds. I doubt it. So every single one of these trades, guys, is on an eval account. I said that I'm not taking a performance trade account because we're so close to the election. So this is indicative of me believing that there's higher prices. That's what this tells me. Is that higher prices are still in the cards. Doesn't mean we can't still go lower right here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Ted, I'm interested in that the gallows as well. Why did I overtrade? The answer, is it overtrading? Yes, I would probably constitute this overtrading. I'm on an eval account that I wanted to see what happened with price here. My evaluation accounts, I have my funded accounts. I'm not trading right now. And I'm trading on an eval account, which I tend to be a little looser with. That's the only honest explanation I can give you. I probably could be more strict with my eval accounts as well. I hope you didn't take that trade, Joseph, because I took it. And if you did take it, you need to make sure it's not with a ton of leverage. Like, I'm only using one contract on these trades for this eval account. And I'm still green on the day. Okay, Joseph, so if you haven't passed an eval account before, the answer is, wow, we got a lot of comments coming in actually. Actually, I did. You did what, Joseph? If you haven't passed a eval account before, my question to you is, do you have a very specific model you trade? That's number one. Do you have a model that you trade specifically? All right, here's that first fair value gap. This is where I'd want to see it turn. Price has gone up. It's making it look like it wants to go lower. This is where I want it to fail. If I want to see higher prices personally, this is where I'd want it to fail. I want it to act as if it was going to go lower and then move higher aggressively. Oh, got it, Joseph. So the move to the downside, it wasn't a bad trade. It just happened to be 4 minutes too early. And it did violate the rules and stopped us out with that candle there. I wonder if what does a 2 minute look like? There's a 2 minute again. The 2 minute did not close below on this 2 minute right here did not close below on this candle. It didn't close on this one either though. So 2 minute wouldn't have been helpful. Let's see. Ted, the inversion you tried to the upside had a small volume imbalance. 2-minute does there as well. Yeah. Yeah, technically I need to include that volume imbalance. And there as well. Bob, my conservative move today was from using the 1-minute to the 2-minute as my low reference. The 1-minute seems to be a little more volatile for me right now. Yeah. Sometimes you can go up higher in time frames and it kind of smooths things out a little bit. So look at the candles here compared to the 1-minute, right? There's the 4-minute. That level right there, Ted. I think that's reasonable. %61 right here for the OTE, the optimal trade entry. Pete, I've been using Apex since I basically started using funded or prop firms. When I started out, I looked at a handful of them. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking which one has the highest probability of not going under, because this was obviously after FTX collapsed and the whole conversation of, liquidity disappearing. And I did not want to use a prop firm that had a high probability of going under. So I basically found the largest one that's been around the longest that had a higher probability of working out the kinks, and that's the one I chose, and Apex was that. Now there's other good firms out there. My Funded Futures and Top Step are two other ones that I would recommend. Anything else that comes out, I probably would stay away from those. Right now Apex is 80% off, and I don't know, Joseph, when Apex will be 90% off again. They do those, I would say once a quarter, it seems. Ted, I kind of wanted to dip a little deeper into that 5-minute, don't you think? What did I do before trading? Before trading day trading futures, what did I do? So I still am I'm still a realtor. So day trading has not replaced my income yet. Full disclosure for everybody out there. I still am a realtor, and I day trade mornings, and I do real estate in the afternoon. But the goal is to have day trading replace my income. Yeah, I think what I would want, Ted, is a 5-minute change in state of delivery to confirm that we're not going to see lower prices. I think it's too much to ask for the 15 minutes, so I think I'd be willing to go with the 5-minute. So we would still need to wait for 4 minutes before this happens. We are bouncing off the 1 minute, the first fair value gap as well. Is that right? Was that the first fair value gap? Yep, that was. So I like the 2-minute inversion fair value gap right there. Based off this reaction here. But this is only for like a spurt up to here if you wanted to take the trade before the 5-minute change in state of delivery takes place. Doesn't look like we're going to get it. Pete, to answer your question, there's 3 prop firms that I would say are popular, and that's Apex, Top Step, and Trade-of-8. Or Apex, Top Step, and My Funded Futures. All are great. I use Apex, and if you want to support the channel, I have a discount code that will give you 80% off Apex, and that is DTJ. It's tagged in the in here, but you will probably going to get multiple people that will tell you that, you know, they like this one or that one, and there's no wrong answer to that. But all of them are going to be fairly similar. Only thing I ask, if you do use Apex, all I ask is you use the discount code DTJ. It's a free way to support the channel since all this is free. Let's see if we get. I think I'm gonna take this 2-minute to this high right here. If it gives it to us. Let's see if it does. Okay, there's the 2-minute entry. Did we get the 1-minute close? Did that close above the 1 minute? That's nice. It also closed above the 1 minute. I'm going to add to that position to this high right here. Let's see if it gives it to us.
Order submitted.
I think I want to go a little higher for that first sell, if it's going to go, because of this low resistance liquidity. But I probably will move my stop to break even here. Once we hit this high, my stop will be moved to break even. I'm not liking the way that's looking, but let's see if it gives us an expansion high right here. Thanks, Pete. Okay, there's stop to break even. I probably should take some size off, but I'm looking for a little bit more of a push here. There's 40 ticks. I'm going to move it even higher here for that first one. All right, there's first take TP. Got one contract left. Stop is now at break even. This one I'm letting run. We're going to look at a minimum of the new day opening gap low.
Order submitted.
That'll be basically 50 handles. If this does hit, it would actually pass this account. I'm pretty sure. This was I think this is the move that I was waiting for. For us to actually run these highs. I'm watching this level right here. It's it's a fair value gap. It's basically, I think, the last hiccup before the liquidity here. So we have a close below, or excuse me, a close above that. Let's see if it wants to run there. I want this to find support here. Last thing is this: if it fails below this order block, I will close the trade. So we violated this inversion. We have a fair value gap and then an order block. 3 PD arrays. If it breaks 3 PD arrays, I close the position. That was also 11:30. That tends to be a reaction candle. Let's see if it holds here. I recognize that I did not close this trade after 3 PD arrays being violated. And it looks like I'm going to get stopped out here. So there's my stop for 20 handles above. That sucks that it didn't run where I wanted it to. That low resistance liquidity. That sucks. Why didn't it go? Let's identify. I realized that I've been on here way longer than I anticipated. Not way longer, but I still think that this is a long here. I'm using this as a breaker. That tagged the inversion fair value gap that we went long in. See what it wants to do there. $11.38 right now. Wow, I didn't realize I still have a sell limit over there. Glad I took that off. I would like this to close above. Still keeping the same bias that we're moving higher. This being the target. We drop down into this 5-minute fair value gap right here. Yeah, I like this for a higher move. Okay, there's going to be a nice, hopefully a nice close right here. Let's see if it wants to give us an expansion right here, or if it's going to... Oh, that's nasty. Let's see if that's just an immediate rebalance, and I want to see this retrace in the same candle. If we don't, I might close this trade early. That's not nice. That was nasty. I don't feel bad for taking that. But I think that's going to signal us being done for the day. So folks, thanks for hanging out with me. Yeah, I just got it off. Thank you. I'm going to make sure that, yep, everything is disconnected. So, all right, guys, I will plan on being here tomorrow. Thanks for being here. God bless you guys. Yeah, stay safe. It's election season. There's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of things that can go awry, and we just want to protect ourselves. So, God bless you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.